Hello everybody, my name is Walter and this is the 40th episode of my Redstone Commands Series. In this episode I want to quickly cover the time command. Now the primary use of this command is to change the so-called internal datetime. What it is I will come to in a moment. A few use cases would be if you want to check mob spawning at night but you don't want to wait for the 10 minutes until it gets dark, or you have a contraption that is light sensitive due to a light detector and you want to check how it behaves when the light level jumps around. Or maybe the sun is the wrong spot for a recording you want to make and is distracting you. Now, before I get to the actual syntax, let me quickly cover the 4 different types of time that play a role here. First of all, we have the internal datetime. This is essentially how many game ticks it has been since the start of day 0. This is also the time that is directly manipulated using the time command. Derived from this datetime, or internal datetime, we have the current datetime, which is that number modulo 24,000. 24,000 is the number of game ticks per Minecraft day, or 20 minutes. Day is also derived from this internal datetime. This is the internal datetime divided by 24,000, then rounded down. The modulo 2 billion here is primarily due to the way computers work. Essentially, if we reach this day here, you would be back to day 0. But, well, 2 billion days will take a while. Game time is a bit different. Here you actually get the actual current age of the world you are at the moment in. This cannot be manipulated using the time command, but this number is similar to before, also modulo 2 billion, and will round back to 0 at reaching this number here. So those are the 4 different times you will run into: the internal datetime, the current datetime, or actually the daytime, game time, and day. With that, let's talk about the syntax of this command. So we start with the name of the command, and then we can check the current time with query, followed by defining what time we actually want to know. Do we want to know the game time, the daytime, or the current day? As I said, those are slightly different. You can also add to the current time by using add and then defining a time span, which can be done in 3 different units. If you don't give it a unit or just write a T after the number, you give it in game ticks. If you add an S, you get it in seconds. And if you write D, you define it in days. Similarly, you can simply override the internal datetime with set followed by a time, again in ticks, seconds, or days. Or you can use one of 4 predefined daytimes, which are day, which is the equivalent of 1,000 game ticks, night, which would be 13,000 game ticks, noon is in the middle at 6,000, and midnight is at the other end of the cycle at 18,000 game ticks. And with that, let's quickly round this up with some examples. So let's have a look at the daytime. So currently we are at noon, which is 6,000. I also turned off the daylight cycle with the game rule command, which I will cover in a later episode, so this will not change actually, which makes the time command even more important. The game time, as I already said, continues to count. So even if the day cycle is stopped, you can see it continues running. And the current day is, well, 0 since I'm at an internal time of 6,000 game ticks. So let's change the time by adding, for example, 60 seconds. And now you can see 60 seconds are 1200 game ticks, and now we are at 7200 game ticks as a daytime. You can see daytime is 7200. The day is still 0, which we can also change by, well, for example, adding 1 day. And if I now do this, you can see the daytime itself has not changed, but the day has increased. And if I want to set everything back to noon in this case, you can see the clock has jumped back and back to day 0. And with that, we've reached the end of this little episode about the time command. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, see ya.